Beauty queen of only 18, she had some trouble with herself. He was always there to help her. She always belonged to someone else. Here we go. I drove for miles and wound up at your door. I've had you so many times, but somehow I want more. I don't mind spending every
Every
day
day,
out on your corner in the pouring
pouring
rain.
rain,
Look for the girl with the broken
broken
smile.
smile,
Ask her if she wants to stay a while, and
and
she
she will be
will be
loved.
loved. And she will be loved.
Ooh, hit it.
Yo,
The
I
octave
could
on
I,
that, my guy.
I
What's
could
good,
not tell you
dude?
how many
You got
times
some
I
tunes on there,
cried to that
man.
song. Yeah, I cried to that song way too many times at elementary school. I'm a
It's
hopeless
good though,
romantic,
like
man.
to fuel
Hopeless
all the
romantic.
emotions, man.
Oh man, what's up with you? What's up with you, Peter?
It's good,
How's
man.
everything?
I'm chilling this week. I'm currently on Momo cat dad duty. My wife is over in Finland this week, so I'm cooking
Finland.
for myself, unfortunately. But we getting through it.
Love it, love it. What is there anything naughty that you do when Catherine's away?
Well, I usually work a lot more than I than my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
No,
I think
I
like when
think usually what I'll do is like when I train with like a lot of my boys on the weekend, usually like right after we train, they'll go out and like kind of get like food and stuff, and I usually kind of just like head back home, and usually we'll kind of eat with Catherine, but usually kind of yeah, if she's gone and stuff, I'll usually hang with them, get some coffee with the boys.
yeah, Christy's like it's very rare that we're not together.
Yeah,
Obviously, Catherine travels more, but Christy will sometimes visit fam or something comes up. She's like, "What you do?" I was like, "I smoked weed and I read a lot of books." Like I'm like, I was like, if you're not home, I'm gonna be on the couch reading, and just like fucking chilling, like, and I'll eat halal guys or something. Like I eat chicken and rice,
yeah. Are
like
you
just something like that.
are you an edible guy or are you kind of like a bowl guy?
I used to just like roll up, flip a J, and smoke it, and now I'm just like
Hmm.
an edible guy. I find that to be like a very mellow, like chill. Like obviously we're not taking a ton,
Hmm.
so it's just like enough to kind of feel like a little lightheaded, a little
Yeah,
like get that feeling of like, oh,
yeah,
and
relax.
then I
A
read a
warm
book.
blanket sensation.
Yeah,
And then
but
you sleep good that night, dude.
yeah, dude, I was texting you yesterday, dude. I was like, what's your HRV?
HRV, I usually hover anywhere between 60 to 90. And then if I'm like a really bad recovery, I'll float to like maybe like 30.
I, yeah, did I tell you about my 8 sleep mattress?
No, I knew you got one, right?
Yeah, we got one and it measured HRV. First day I got it, February 4th.
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
eight
the
hours.
mattress measures HRV?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
shit.
measures HRV, deep sleep, REM sleep, resting heart rate, and like a bunch of other things.
Hmm.
Dude, it's sick. But first day, I got 31. I don't know shit about HRV. I slept for 8 hours and I had 31. So I was like, yo, I know that shit's low. So I punched it
Not good.
into
Yeah, yeah.
like, ChatGPT. And I was like, fuck, that is terrible.
Yeah.
So the following day, I got another 8 hours of sleep. No alcohol, no nothing. 35.
Okay. We
I
we
was like,
slowly
holy,
making baby steps.
slowly making up. But this past week, we've been at like 59, 54,
Oh, let's go.
56. So,
Yo, we got to
dude,
crack 60, man.
I've been crushing work
Yeah.
with that like added rest of stuff. But
Hmm.
essentially, what I've done, it's like I was like, all right, there's like a diminishing return after like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yep.
And if I'm doing like something very creative, so I'm like, all right, I'm shutting it off.
Yeah.
And then once I did that, I decompress. I found my HRV fucking really gets higher, and then Obviously whatever happens, happens. But like I try to like decompress getting closer to bed
Mm-hmm.
and my HRV improves. But I'm like, yo, bro, I think I'm chronically stressed. I was like,
Chronically
I gotta,
overworked. You need a vacate, my guy.
I gotta
Um,
woosah. I came back from San Diego. That's why the HRV went up a little bit. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know. Like whenever even if I just have like one or two drinks, dude, my HRV will basically tank the next day, even though I feel totally fine. So I know, like for sure, like since I started like wearing that Oura ring, and I think like maybe 3 years ago I had the Whoop, I've like significantly kind of watched like my alcohol intake as well too. Dude, are you on the no strip and eye mask at night?
No, I stopped doing that, but now that I we can measure it, I
Yeah,
might
measure
try
it.
it out
Yeah,
again to see what happens. Because I used to do the no strip, mouth tape, and eye mask. That's like
yeah.
sensory deprivation. But now that we have
Yeah,
something to
but now you
track,
can track, yeah, track some
yeah.
data,
So
and
if it
then
actually
after,
ends up working out, then I'll do it. If it ends up being the same, then with that, we're gonna scrap it.
yeah, hell
So
yeah,
we'll
man,
see.
it's good stuff.
But
Well, I think,
at the
dude, like, all right, good, yeah, you good.
no, 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 no. I know what you're doing. I know what you're
I was
doing. You
gonna
got
say,
it.
all
You
right,
got
all right,
it. You got it.
catch this transition. All right, yo, all right. So, you know how you take the data and from like your HRV and stuff, and then based on that, you implement and make some changes into your personal life, and then you start to see results in your sleep as well as your work. All right. So same thing when we learn sales, marketing, and all these other things from multiple different industries. We take these things, implement it into physical therapy, which is completely different, and then we start to see some changes. Some better, some worse, some stayed exactly the same. How we feel about that transition, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about today, guys. We're talking about everything we implemented from other industries into our own PT practices.
8.47.
Ooh, I was gonna say 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like in my head when you started talking about like the sleep and the down, I was like, ooh, I feel like I could transition this into our topic today, but I feel like
The
delivery could have been a little bit better.
um, I don't know. How do you guys? How did you guys feel about that? Leave a comment because there's a comment section now
Yeah,
on Spotify.
if
So
it's trash, let me know it's trash. It's totally fine.
yeah, yeah. First off, 48 5-star reviews. So we got one more up, guys. Come on,
Nice.
do us. Let's get this to 50. Why is it so much work to get to
Yeah,
50?
you guys are
If you're
really
the
gonna
one
have
of
to have me like text my mom and ask her if she can leave us a review. Mama, you.
yeah, yeah, Mama You's gonna have to leave a review. Yo, if your brother's listening to this shit, he better leave a review. That's it. But yo, all right, right off the top of the head, off the top of the dome, first thing that I would say we implemented from other industries was newsletters, like email marketing.
Cool.
And to this point today, strictly from we've generated over 7 figures with email marketing, just emails alone.
Let's go.
But this is like, to me, it's one of the most sacred things that you can do because it's like it's literally going into someone's like, I like to think of someone's inbox like a house, right? And
Mhm.
you want to like send a gift to someone's house and have it be a ton of value so that they keep you in the house. But if you send an email and it's trash, there's no value there, it's delete. And sometimes they'll even call the cops on you, right? And that's when they report you as spam.
Yeah.
Like the inbox is so sacred. And as long as I think you do a good job of pumping value into your emails, people will let you keep coming into their house. And then that's how you start to develop rapport. And the goal for us, like what we typically do, it's like we have some sort of lead magnet. And a lead magnet is something that like people actually want. We have a run pain free checklist. I have a bunch of webinars that we do for Moment Education, for Go Getters Coaching. We've had the leads book. We've had 0 to 10K webinar. We've had sales and objection handling framework. So we have so many things that we give out for free so that you'll give us your email. Now, when we get that email, it's up to us to deliver a ton of value because the more that you consume of that email, the more likely you're going to think about us when you actually need a problem to be solved. Now, the structure of the email is super important. You have the subject line where it's like you want it to really hit, like you want it to open a loop essentially. So I just sent an email yesterday on Moment Education, and I said, "Do we think about habits all wrong?"
Mm.
And immediately you're just thinking like, "Huh, what is that?" Right? And the email is essentially talking about a new concept that I just thought about from reading a new book. And it's just intensity. Like whenever you're building a new habit, you actually want to do it with a lot of intensity and then go a sustainable route. Right? Like how easy is it to stick to something weight loss related if you lose 20 pounds in 3 months, or like let's say you lose like 12 pounds in 3 months. That's like, oh my gosh, crazy jumpstart. Now let's do something more sustainable. If you do something sustainable right out the gates, it's going to take a while for you to see an ROI. So you might not actually stick to those habits. So the whole premise is like, instead of creating things that are sustainable in the beginning, do the thing that is unsustainable, right? To get that nice jump start and then go into something sustainable. And it's just something that's as simple as that, where like you might read the email and be like, you know what? That's really good. I like that idea. And that's it. And every week, if you drop gems, clinical cases, case studies, how you help the patient, exercise that you really love, research that you read and you're distilling for someone, you're just positioning yourself as an expert over time. And the one thing that you got to do is talk about what you offer at the end. So 80% of the email is high value. 20% of the email is like, yo, if you need help with pain, sign up for a discovery call here. Hey, if you're interested in joining Moment Mentorship, reply this. Hey, if you want to join Go Getters Coaching, check out this podcast. And if you love it, you can sign up for a strategy call here.
Love it. What's maybe like your top two favorite headline? Maybe it's clickbaity, maybe it's just like something that you've seen before that has a very high open rate. Do you have like a top two that you've used consistently before in the past?
Oh man, I don't have like really like my headlines are like pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
So like I always try to really talk about like, or I guess the main one that I'll use is like a contrast headline. So like one of the emails that we send out for Moment Education is I just have the headline was I was a really shitty physical therapist.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a negative thing. So people are immediately like, you were a shitty physical therapist? Like what?
Let me open it and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think like that is a good one, right? Where it's like you openly talk about a mistake. That's definitely one of like the go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
Is there headlines that you like? I'm opening up Go Getters coaching emails because dude, those are like people have messaged me like, yeah, bro, that was hilarious.
I
Do
think
you have one that you
one
love?
that I've seen before, like for myself, that like I'll actually open. It's really simple. It's just like, hey, my name and then question mark, and then like dash, like present or surprise for you or something like that. But usually like something super simple or just like, hey, name question mark, like that usually seems to like generate because like people would be like, okay, hey, let me at least click on this and see what's going on. But the downside of that is like, hey, you don't really have like a insight as to what the email is actually going to be about.
Yeah. So right now, I was like, wow, our open rates are solid too. 60% open rate for GGC. I just sent
Speaks to that
a
value we dropping, baby.
yeah, I just sent one yesterday. It said this mental frame will break any resistance you have. So
Mm,
people are like, what is that? The other one was you won't believe what I'm paying for a good night's sleep. Like,
that's a good one.
yeah. The other one was super simple and straightforward. Best books on mindset and seven figure marketing dashboard and KPIs. So it's like you already know it's like I want to have 7 figures, so I'm going to open that and say what's up.
Love that.
Um,
I think a lot of like the hooks that people utilize in like short form content on Instagram, I think those would probably honestly be like a really great like synchro like email headline intro as well too, because it's like the whole point of those like hooks that people use at the very beginning, just like, hey, like what can I do to stop people's attention and like give me like 2 seconds of their time.
yeah, it's pretty incredible, but I think the thing that you need to do with the hook is actually spark curiosity.
Yeah.
There's like a great study where like bartenders can remember what you ordered if you didn't close your tab yet. But the minute that you close your tab, they
Forget
have
it.
no idea. They have no idea what you ordered. And essentially the thought process is like human beings remember open loops like crazy and they
Yeah.
want to close those loops so they can forget about it. So they did a study where like when your tab's open, a bartender can remember things immediately. And once they close the tab, the bartender's like, yeah, dog, I have no idea what you ordered.
Love that. I would say one thing that I learned and we implement tremendously to this day is like the concept of speed to lead. So the concept of speed to lead is really where, hey, like the moment you have a lead opt into, whether it's a website or like an ad form, somebody on your team is calling them as fast as possible, ideally within 60 seconds or within 5 minutes. I know at the very beginning, like the first, like 2, 3 years of being in business, all of our people that were submitting forms on our website were all word of mouth. And at the time, we didn't really have like an SDR team or anybody doing outbound besides like myself or our PTs. And so, it's like, it's really hard when you're treating patients throughout the day. And it's like you see an inquiry come in and then it's like, hey, you don't get to it maybe until like the next day. But I think like one of the things that I realized is like the only reason why somebody who's a word of mouth is willing to stick around for that long is because they're coming in specifically to see you. So they're okay with waiting, like a day or maybe 2 days. But, once we started running ads, once we started like, doing a lot more kind of direct marketing or direct response marketing and driving people to our pages and people were filling shit out. So like the moment they fill something out is like the height of which their greatest pain is. And so, same thing whenever I'm looking for like restaurants or maybe if I'm trying to get in somewhere and, get my perm done or like whatever, it's like if I'm calling a place, they're like, hey, sorry, we don't have any availability for this week. Or maybe worse, they don't even respond at all. Like I'm looking up the next place on Google and saying, hey, cool, like who's the next person that can get me in? And so if you have a team member who's available to like, they should really just have one job, which is really just like, hey, answer any kind of inbound inquiries. And the moment somebody does inbound actually in, like, hey, like go ahead and give them a call as fast as possible. One of the things that we actually just implemented in was like staffing somebody just for the weekends. So like we have, people being staffed. So we have 3 SDRs and, they're just ripping dials from Monday to Friday. But every Monday we have so many like leads just piled up and they're just playing catch up. And what we realized like over the last couple months is like a lot of these leads that would opt in on like a Saturday or Sunday, by the time we get to them on Monday, we call them, they're like, hey, sorry, I already like found another place to get into. I'm like, fuck, like that should never happen to us where it's like, hey, people end up going somewhere else because we were too slow to respond. And so like there's a really good like Harvard study out there where it just like shows that where they basically just looked at a ton of different businesses and they looked at like the percent of you actually like getting a lead to convert. And that conversion percentage drops drastically after 5 minutes. And so if there's anything that like, you guys are doing, you have one person that's not doing any kind of PT stuff, like, hey, like they should just monitor all your leads coming in, website, all that stuff. And like once somebody does opt in, hey, give them a call as soon as possible. It's like they may not even have to be like a really great salesperson on the phone, but just having somebody there available to just talk to them at their greatest point of deprivation and at their greatest point of pain will significantly increase like the percent of them converting versus them just like, hey, calling the next person down the street because nobody got to them fast enough.
And I would like even think about like a lot of like these kind of like speed to lead things. Like think about your own experience, right? Like when you're trying to find maybe a place to like, yeah, something simple like podcast studio, right? Trying to figure out like what podcast studios are open, or even if you're like trying to find like a cleaning service, right? You're going to call a bunch of cleaning services. Like the one that picks up, responds, answers all your questions, they immediately build trust. It's like, what kind of business is it? Like if you keep calling like a Chinese takeout spot, for instance, you call a Chinese takeout spot 3 times and they don't pick up, you're just gonna be like, "Is this place even open?" Because if it was a good business, they pick up the damn phone, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, you almost like lose trust if there's no response on the other side.
Dude, let me drop some stats on speed to lead from this study. So it's like the average lead response time is 47 hours. Right? So shit, almost like 2 days later. 71% of qualified leads are never followed up upon, and only 27% of leads ever get contacted. When leads are followed up upon, only 1.3 call attempts are made before giving up. Okay, so those are just kind of like overall general speed to lead statistics. And then from the Harvard review on lead response times found that like the chances of contacting a lead is 5 times higher if called within 5 minutes versus 10 minutes. 5 times higher. And that's only within a 5-minute window, 5 minutes versus 10 minutes. And then the chances of contacting the lead is 100 times higher if called within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. And then the chances of qualifying a lead are 21 times higher if called in 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. After 1 hour, the odds of contacting the lead decreases by 10 times, and the odds of qualifying that lead decrease by 6 times. And then after 20 hours, every additional call you make actually hurts your ability to contact and qualify your lead. And so if all your like inquiries are just word of mouth, like this probably won't really matter that much. But if you're like running any kind of like Google ads or Facebook ads, or even you just get like maybe people are calling or you're showing up because your SEO is ranking well, but and people just like, hey, like your website, and they're opting in, like you gotta like call these leads as fast as possible.
Dude, that's a crazy paper. That's so
Insane.
sick.
Yeah.
So sick. Um, Another thing for us that we've implemented from other industries. Oh man, I mean, I would include like landing page into it, like just like
Sure.
UX design and landing page. Obviously, these are things that where no one's really taught. So like, what the hell is like a anatomy of like a freaking landing page, right? And there's like so many people that are just building random websites and like you've got to like I would say landing pages, and also you can't do landing pages well without understanding copywriting. So copywriting is just like writing certain things in a way to transfer your ideas to someone else's mind and doing it very very well. So when we think about a website, it's like, what is someone thinking about when it comes into a landing page or your website? They're immediately thinking like, what does this company do? And there's people that'll say some weird obscure things. It's like, we help improve high functionality of blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, we help people get out of chronic pain and get back to blah 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 high performance without surgery or medication.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might be thinking like, why do I need this company? So then you would start to immediately list out certain frustrations that people have. From there, like, all right, cool, you do these things, but I don't believe you. That's when you can start to insert some social proof. From there, they need to know, how do I know if I'm the right fit? That's when you can start to talk about the people that you help. And then they start to think, well, this sounds good, but how does this all work? And that's when you can put out your process. And after you got the process started, it's like, okay, I see how this works, but what are the next steps? Next steps, you book a call, come in for the eval, do X, Y, Z. And then it's like, all right, but is this trustworthy? More social proof. And then some people will say, like, I have to think about it, right? Like, I still have to think about it, which is why your messaging at the end could be way more aggressive, right? The messaging at the end might be like, hey, you've been dealing with this pain now for years. And if you don't do anything, it's never going to change. One of the most simple things that you could do is just take action. Book a free 15-minute discovery call to learn more about what we do. So it's like anatomy of a landing page, the actual copy that you're putting into that. And to drop some game, it's like you don't even have to come up with a copy yourself. Talk to
Mm-hmm.
every single one of your patients and ask them, why did they come in to see you instead of another clinic? All you're going to do is jot down all of their ideas and the common messages that come across all of your patients. That's what you're going to start putting into your landing pages. Because again, if these are your favorite patients and the people that you want to attract, your marketing needs to represent that.
I love it. I'll build a little bit off of that. I think one thing that we implement is like, one of the things you mentioned just now is like, hey, social proof, testimonials. And so one of the first points of contact, like Andy just talked about, is like, hey, like the landing page, right? But then from there, we just like hose down our prospects with like just an overwhelming amount of social proof that basically positions us as like the authority frame that we need to come across as the expert of whatever issue that they're dealing with. So, they come into the landing page, we have testimonials there. And then from there, once they like opt into like a website or maybe even like a discovery call leading up to it, we'll give them, hey, like, here's our testimonial tank of all the other like clients that have been very similar in your situation. And so when they book a discovery call, because we don't really know like what their primary issue is, we kind of just give them like a general one of like, hey, here are all the clients that have talked about insurance, their experience with insurance, and then versus us. And so we basically just have like a massive Google Drive of, and it's great because we don't really prompt our clients to write Google reviews about the differences. So, but they'll just kind of like naturally write about, hey, like before here, I was at this XYZ insurance clinic. It was awful. This is what the response was. And so we'll give them stuff like that. And then from there, after they do the discovery call, they come in for the initial evaluation. But after the discovery call, we now know what body part they have that they're coming in with. And then from there, we'll basically give them more even specific case studies on people we've been able to help for their exact body part. Now, when they actually get into the clinic, we have like an in-person kind of like a testimonial flip book of just like a ton of different pictures and whiteboards, pictures of people like dealing with stuff that we've been able to help them out with. And then our person, our like closer or front desk person will basically hand that book to them. It's like, hey, while you're waiting for our PT to get you started, here's like a bunch of other people very similar with like shoulder pain. It looks like you're here with shoulder pain that you can check out as well too while you wait. So now they sit down, they go through even more. And then from there, the last bit is like when they do walk into the room, you look at our room, the way it's positioned. So you have like the treatment table there. They're sitting in a corner, and then our PT is like across the treatment table. And then behind our PT, it's two walls, and it's just filled with like Google reviews. And it's just like, it's laminated in like these like nice picture frames and everything. But then from there, it's like, hey, boom, social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof. They're just like, they cannot escape the fact that, hey, we know what we're doing. And so it's just like, hey, give them as much perception of like, hey, like we are going to be able to get them results. Like, forget about the price. Like, if we come here and go through with it, like we're going to get results because all these other people who have been able to get results as well too.
Dude, I think I need to print out all the features that we've been a part of, like the logos, and then put them against that like plastic. Put them against our glass wall, because it'd be like featured in Men's Health, Women's Health, Nike, 100%. Gatorade, Technogym, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. I love it. Fucking hosing you off with fucking customer success stories.
Yeah.
Another one that I picked up, it's mainly like hospitality industry. So Unreasonable Hospitality is a book by Will Guidara. Mm-hmm. We try to like give gifts to people that are moving into a new home or an apartment. If they finish the New York City, any one of our patients that finishes a marathon, we send them a candle that smells like you just kicked 26.2 in the ass.
That's
like
awesome.
Some like funny like marathon candle from Etsy, and it's just like, you smell like you just ran a marathon. It's just like funny shit like that. And it's like, so congrats, we're so happy for you. We send books to like entrepreneurs that we work with that are dealing with very specific problems that we think the book can solve. I used to mass order books and just like literally hand them out and like store them. But our goal is to actually gift things to patients, because I think, one, it's not that like we want them to recommend us to anyone or anything like that. It's just like we want to go above and beyond. Like we want that patient to feel like, holy crap, they actually do care. They think of me beyond just a patient. They're thinking of me as an actual person. Mm-hmm. I'm struggling with this. They gave me something. I have patients that have had kids. I send them children books that I love. And they're like, oh my gosh. And they're like niche children books, so like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. I don't know what the ROI is on that. I could probably calculate it. But you almost lose the energy behind it, and you start to calculate the ROI of gifting. Yeah, like you just want to gift because you care about the person.
Yeah, and I would just say like it also is just a really great way to differentiate yourself from like anybody else. Like, dude, I don't know a single clinic that is giving out these fucking scented candles, to patients after they crush like a hard, athletic achievement. So I think that's phenomenal. Plus, too, I think I was just thinking now, like, hey, every time they smell that candle, they're automatically reminded of you. So it's just another way to like, hey, keep you top of mind for these clients. Like, hey, like, I don't know, maybe like they have like a house gathering or something like that, house party, and one of their like guests is like, oh, sweet, like, where'd you get this candle? Oh, well, let me tell you, my dope ass PT, Andy. Oh, who's your PT? I've been dealing with this knee pain, and it's just a great way to kind of, continue to reintroduce yourself into the conversation, especially if it's something that they use like every single day, like a candle,
Yeah, dude, we've given custom made wine openers to people that comes in like laser engraved wooden boxes and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, you love wine? I'd make that a note, and then we send them a wine opener, and it has like laser engraved their last name. But it's just stuff like that where like people get it and they're like shocked, like, wow. So I think hospitality, you have to think about those things.
I think I'm going to steal that. I think I'm going to maybe like set maybe like a 10 or like maybe like shit, I don't know, like $20 to $25 budget. And then have all of our PTs like, hey, intentionally take little notes like this, figure out like something small that one of their patient likes, and then have them gift it to them like throughout their like package. I think that's dope. It's like $25. It's like, it's nothing, dude.
Dude, the one thing I thought about, it's like, all right, how much money do you want to make? And let's say you want to make like how much money are you comfortable giving up right now, giving away per month right now? It's like I'm pretty comfortable like, donating or like just doing random gestures for like a couple of hundred a month.
Mhm.
Meaning like you know, the other day I was at a bubble tea shop and there was like a kid that ordered bubble tea and he was like, just like a good kid. Looked like he went to Catholic school.
Mhm.
And I just grabbed him in front of him like, yo, don't worry about it, man. I got this covered. And he goes, really? Thanks. Sometimes I'm at Barnes and Nobles and I see like a kid like whipping out money to buy books. And I'm like, bro, you're a kid. You
Yeah.
should be buying books. I got you. And like times like these, like if someone's outside, there's like they're cold and they need a coffee, I run into a store, buy a coffee and bring it to them. Or like in the summer, sometimes like people are just dying in the heat. I'm like, yo, bro, you need a water, you need a meal. I think when you think about life like that, it's like how much can you actually afford to just give away? Like right now it's a couple hundred. Like in the future it's gonna be a couple of thousand. I'm just gonna like want to just do dope shit all the time. Start giving away stuff now, right? Like no matter what in business, like you probably at least afford $50 a month, right? To give a gift to one patient that's, said something nice about you, did something for you guys, or like you just generally want to support. And I think starting that act of giving, it does a couple of things, makes you feel good, but there's going to be certain months where like you feel like shit, right? Like things aren't going the way they are, the way that you want them to go. But then you do this one random gesture, and I'm telling you, that shit will turn everything around. Like it just
Mhm.
makes you feel like you could puff up your chest a little bit more.
Yeah, and also too, it's like I know for sure whenever I'm given something, I always feel like, hey, now I need to figure out something to give back to this one person. And so hopefully when it comes to these patients, like, great, how can I give something back? Let me send them a referral.
Yeah. Or a review, bro. If
Or
your
review,
reviews
yeah.
are, it's
Shit,
so
yeah.
good,
Review.
so
Add
good.
on to the social proof. Shit. All right. I know we're running out of time. One last one that I've got that I feel like has like tremendously helped us is objection prevention. So, asking specific questions in the subjective part of the initial evaluation that will screen out very common objections. So, this is something that's like very huge in kind of like the sales world. And, like shit, like our first 3 years of practice, we go through everything like a normal subjective, normal PT stuff, and then get to the end and then, pitch. And then we get slammed with all these different objections like spouse, insurance, think about it, lack of urgency. I got to talk to my rabbi across the street for next Sunday. XYZ, all the objections. And so yeah, once we started like going into like specific sales training and other industries, a lot of like what everyone else was teaching was like, cool, if we know there are only specific objections that will occur that are just constantly repeated, how can we get ahead of it and address it head on before like we actually price drop? And so yeah, like introducing specific questions about like, hey, like spousal support, urgency, consequences of inaction, asking all these things in the subjective part where we're just trying to figure out what their scenario and what their current situation is, has been tremendously helpful for like not only just like our closer, but also like our PTs too, just to understand like the level of depth, and then just like being able to prevent some of these things from occurring on the back end. So I'd say, yeah, like that's probably one thing that for sure has like helped us out a lot.
Okay, we're gonna segue into that next episode. How to handle objections before they even occur, and we'll break down the psychology of it all.
Bang bang.
But squad, March 21st, 22nd, 2 spots left. If you want to get in GGC, check the show notes, sign up. If you're like, hey, I'm going to be joining anyway, well, if you're part of the crew, then you get in for free. So you can sign up for a strategy call. Things are scaling. We're popping off. Everything is growing. If you want to be coming along for the ride, you already know the vibes. Let's go. Bang, bang.
We always
Peace.
win.
Let's
Peace.
go. We always win. Peace.